and of course, you for all that you're doing. I'm sorry we had to put you through a Pocono race, but you're a trooper.
Sorry, you made me laugh there. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's alright. As long as nothing happens on this final lap, it's definitely going to be the 72 of Joshua Durham. Alright, guys, with all that information, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have some driver interviews. To go down to the bottom lane to make it a 3 versus 2 on the bottom, and the outside line has just lost all of its momentum. Everyone going down to the bottom lane now. They'll be getting ready to reset for the next couple of laps, as we're going to have 3 laps left to run when Sanchez gets across the start finish line here. But it's going to be interesting to see whether Harmon is going to push Sanchez to the win, or whether he is going to make a run at. Seeing what happened here coming off of turn 4. Pretty sure it was the 18 of Brian Beach. It was. He gets very loose coming off the corner down into the. Hello, everyone. and welcome to the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the final round of season number 2 here in the Output Racing League 2021. We're going to be doing the Autism Awareness 150 right here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Everyone is out on track right now. It looks like we're getting ready for a pit party here. So let's go and see how these guys are going to do here for the pit party. Jaron Sanchez there up at the front. No livery on his car at the moment. Might just need to do a quick re-download of paints to bring his livery up. That'll get done pretty soon here. But Sanchez looking like he wants to start on the pole. Got Jonathan Hernandez lining up on his outside. We've got Frank Isaacson up there starting from third. Travis Masia going to be starting this one out of P4. And there goes Jaron to the back. So Frank is now going to be on the pole. Frank doesn't want to start on the pole. I hate it how they do this last second. TJ Crampton is going to be on the pole. See James Watson in behind him now. So we're getting ready for the start. There we go, we're off and running for the pit party here at the Texas Motor Speedway. There's a 2 of Chris Champeau, 5 of Mark Pentacaf. I think that was a 64 of Jonas Marquez was defending in the Ultimate Dimension already. Chris Champeau gone, coming out turn 2. Very loose coming through turn 2 there, and it's very tight coming out of turn 4. So we could be seeing quite a bit of drama as the race goes on. James Watson already in the fence. There's John Lozelle, who has gone for a trip down pit lane. I think the 2 of Chris Champeau is just coming back out onto the track. Oh, who was that? That Jonathan Hernandez stuck up in the fence there. I think that was. That's nuts. Currently have 17 drivers in the server, plus myself making the 18th person. That is a strength of field of 26-14 so far. Very good to see the strength of field up there after everyone has terrible road ratings. He's almost 4 wide coming out of turn 2. That's not going to work. But that was 4 wide coming out of turn 2. So there's 78. Brian Pizzicami getting to the fence a little bit. He cut the nose off of Jonas Marquez there. There's the 38 of Thomas Harmon. He'd be looking for a good result. Currently have 14 people who have set times. Brian Pizzicami sitting on top of the table so far. Jonathan Hernandez P2. TJ Crampton in third. Thomas Harmon 4th, and Jaron Sanchez wrapping up your top 5 so far in the practice standings. Mark Pentacaf just got onto the apron and got sideways. Jaron's paint still hasn't fixed itself yet. Should be pretty soon. What an amazing crash that was coming out of turn 4. Took out like 5 guys. Right, so now all the paints should be good and proper. See if we can see Sanchez here. And we do see a paint on his car, but we can't see it properly. Need to get back out on track so we can see it properly. There's Travis Masia in the 13. He's trying to work on the inside of Ken Campbell there in the 15. As we have had someone else join into the session. I do believe that is Brian Chambliss in the 21. Bell Wells and John Lozelle also get to set a lap. You saw there, I think that was Austin Hakes being very loose coming out of turn 2. Going to be the theme of the day today. Everyone getting loose coming out of 2. and everyone getting tight coming out of 4. So those are going to be our danger zones. I also noticed in the couple of laps that I did earlier that I can expect loose going into turn 3, which is quite interesting. As we have about 35 minutes left in practice before we get down and dirty and into the qualifying. Sanchez is back on track now, so let's have a look at this paint of his. Ooh. That's a very subtle but super awesome paint. This is painted by the number 2 of Chris Champeau. So go check him out over at twitch.tv/champdrivescars and ask him about his rates on paints. Because this paint of Sanchez looks fucking sick. And that is my one for the broadcast. Oh, in the background there, Chambliss in the 21 went all the way around coming out of turn 2. We now have 20 people in the server. Carl Kraus just joining in on the fun. Wells still yet to set a time. So the 20 people in here, 19 drivers plus myself, strength of field 2703. There's Jonathan Hernandez, he's just coming back out onto the track, same too with Chambliss. Chambliss only managing the 10th best time at the moment. And Hernandez is still up in P2. Chambliss again struggling out of turn 2. Just giving it too much jandle, sending himself up into that outside wall. It looks like we're still waiting on the arrival of our champion-elect. Of course, that is Christian Budd. Pretty much got the championship all kinds of wrapped up. It's Christian Budd by 55 points over Chris Champeau. Chris Champeau with a stellar season. He's only got 1 win, 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s. But he is right up there in P2. Conversely, Jonathan Hernandez, who has the same amount of starts as Chris Champeau, more wins, same wins with 1, more top 5s and just 1 less top 10. But he's in 3rd. 7 points behind Chris Champeau, so the battle for second is really right on point. There's only about 11 points separating second through 5th, and another 11 on top of that, so 22 between Chris Champeau and James Watson in P6. That's where the major battle is there in the championship. There's also a battle going on for 7th. Carl Kraus, Jaron Sanchez, and Matt Horton all being separated by 2 points. And Frank Isaacson in 10th. He's got a 5-point buffer over Mark Pentacuff. And then next season, we're moving on into a different car. So we'll talk more about that after the race is over. So if you're watching this back on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see the next season of the Output Racing League. There's John Lozelle currently in P7. Jonas Marquez, who's dropped all the way down to 13th. I'm still waiting on Kyle Kraus to set a lap time. I'm really enjoying the subtlety of the Jaron Sanchez car here, as he's in P9 standings, just in front of him, Ken Campbell in 10th. I know I'd like to see these guys doing another pit party here, because with the way this track is, I reckon they're just going to have to get used to running in a pack. I'm sure towards the back of the field it's going to string out, but expecting the front of the pack to group up a little bit here. There's John Lozelle and Ken Campbell. Lozelle in P7. Thomas Harmon has actually taken the top spot now with a 30.162. Very nice lap there for Thomas Harmon. Pizzakemi second. Chambliss has moved his way up to third, dropping Hernandez all the way down to fourth, and TJ Crampton into fifth. There's James Watson. He's currently in 12th position. Just behind him, Matt Horton, who's in 8th. Watson with a 30.399. And Horton with a 30.262. So very quick times. Oh, as Watson getting loose coming out of turn 4 there, going for a little mow of the grass. Jonas Marquez, he's currently in 14th, 30.440. He's just coming out on a fresh tyre run. Only a few cars that are on track right now. Just behind Jonas here, we have Travis Massey, who's currently in 13th. He's got a 30.405. Front, Thomas Harmon, who's down to P2, as Brian Chambliss has taken the lead of the practice. 30.157 over Thomas Harmon's 30.162. 0.005 of a second separates those two times. Brian Pizzakemi third, Jonathan Hernandez in fourth, and TJ Crampton still in fifth. And Harmon is the only one of the top five who is actually on the track right now. Travis Massia, out of nowhere, moves up into P2, 30.160. 0.003 separating himself from Chambliss as he goes for a slide through turn 2 and hits the wall. He was on an absolute heater and binned it. He absolutely split the middle of Chambliss and Harmon. Chambliss is back out on track. James Watson just moved up to 8th from 12th. Got a 30.245 as Chris Champeau is coming in underneath him. Chris Champeau currently in 12th. Got a 30.288. Gonna get crazy if we start seeing people dipping into the 29 second time bracket. Everyone pushing as hard as they can right now, trying to get up the table here for the practice standings. Let's bring up the ticker so you guys can see it. A little bit of a malfunction there. There we go. Around goes Massey again. This time he keeps it off the walls. But he's still going to take it back to the pits. Oh, wild pit entry from Chambliss. T-boned by Jonas Marquez. And everyone is in the pits. I think we might be doing a pit party maybe. It looks that way. Everyone's rolling off the pit lane. There's Thomas Harmon. Behind him is Brian Pizzakemi, Jonas Marquez there, and Chris Champeau as well. Alright, here we go. Just about the final 10 minutes of the practice here as well. Everyone's surviving so far. Mark Pentecup is in the fence though. And 4 is where the action happened. Oh, you see Kyle Kraus getting loose on the bottom, right in front of Ken Campbell. There's another one around there as well. That's Austin Hakes. They turn into Beyblades. Wow! James Watson almost pulled off an epic dodge there. Then he got collected. And around goes Travis Massey out of 4. Oh, everyone behind him, nowhere to go. 21, the 81, Corey Williamson involved. So too was, I don't know who the other one was, unfortunately. There's Jonathan Hernandez. He's currently P6 in the standings. Oh, and sideways goes the 78 of Pizzacami. Saved it though. Nice save. Hernandez still going on pretty strong here. But 30.196, only good enough for P6. Aaron Sanchez surprisingly down in 12th with his 30.262. You see Sanchez getting right up underneath Chris Champo there. Oh, and around goes Champo. And he just collects Hernandez with a glancing blow, both of them into the fence. Oh, Hernandez, the unfortunate victim there. There's Matt Horton, he's currently P5 in the standings. He's 30.194. But still Chambliss, Massia, Harmon, Pizzacami, and Horton in 5th. Oh, and sideways goes the 78 Pizzacami once more. This time coming out of turn 4. But only down to 5 minutes now left in practice. So in just about 4.5 minutes time, we're going to go to an ad break here for qualifying. We don't show qualifying, obviously. Still just 20 people in the server. Strength of field still 2703 amongst the 19 drivers plus myself. Everyone just trying to get used to the track now, I believe. The 38 of Thomas Harmon got loose coming out of turn 4. New tyres are going to be treacherous around here. Oh, as around goes the 5 of Pentacuff right in front of Sanchez and Hakes. Hakes smashing into the wall as well, and then another hit from Pentacuff just for extra measure. And Christian Budd has now joined into the server, bringing our driver count now up to 20, with myself in the server as well. 21 people here, 2783 strength of field. There's Jonathan Hernandez on screen, trying to make a move on Thomas Harmon and Bell Wells. See Bell out there. He's currently in the 19th position. As we're now into the final 2 minutes of the practice session. Got 4 laps to go, maybe 3. Wide going through turn 2, that is dangerous. That is very dangerous. Around goes the 81 of Corey Williamson. We are going to get ready to go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to see the results of qualifying here from the final round of Season 2 in 2021 of the Output Racing League. The Autism Awareness 150 right here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Make sure you guys stay tuned. The season might be over, the championship might already be crowned, but it's definitely going to be an absolutely hot race. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, here we go. Qualifying has ended. It's time for us to get this race underway. And on the pole, it's no surprise, the 50 car of Mr. Christian Budd. P2 is going to be the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez. And P3 is going to be the 2 car of Chris Champo. P3 is going the way of the 61 of TJ Crampton. P5, the 23 of John Lazelle. P6 is going to be the 21 of Brian Chambliss, with P7 being the 28 of Austin Hakes. P8 will be the 60 car of Kyle Kraus, with P9 being the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Then in P10 we are going to have the 13 car of Travis Massier. Then the rest of the field is going to be Ken Campbell, Mark Pentecoff, James Watson, Frank Isaacson, Jaron Sanchez, and Brian Pizzicami in 16th. He's going to be the last of the eligible drivers for the Hard Charger Award. Matt Horton in 17th, Bell Wells, Jonas Marquez, and Corey Williamson propping up the field in 20th. Got 110 laps around the Texas Motor Speedway here. And it should be a very exciting race to end off our season here for the trucks. As you see, everyone just getting into their position because of the terrible staggered start that they do. Looks like the 24 of Frank Isaacson is going to be starting from the pits. Originally, he was meant to be starting out of 14th position, but he's going to be taking this one from the pits. I think he thinks it's going to be a lap 1 crash, either coming out of turn 2 or coming through 3 and 4. Now remember, the first start is on the leader. All the restarts... the first start is on green. All the restarts will be on the leader. So here we go. The pace car is in. There's already some bump and grind going on in the field. And we're underway for the final race of the Season 2 2021 season here at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Autism Awareness 150. And still side by side, our 2 leaders go into turn 1, but the inside line is got the advantage with Christian Budd. Now the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez just trying to hold on to second here over the 61 of TJ Crampton, and he makes it stick. As you see, the 21 of Brian Chambliss there was starting to make some moves as well as he gets underneath Chris Champo. He's going to move Chambliss up into the 4th position. And it looks like the 2 of Chris Champo is now going to be stuck on the outside for a little bit here. He's going to start falling back ever so slightly. And everyone's surviving the first lap and a half. See, quite a few of the guys put in a lot of laps in practice. It's good to see. Frank Isaacson is going to be stuck half a lap down on the rest of the field. As there's now a change for second, the 61 of TJ Crampton getting around the 88 of Hernandez. The 2 of Chris Champo moving himself back up into 4th. You see in the background there the 38 of Thomas Harmon trying to make some moves as well, getting underneath the 13 of Travis Massier. And there's James Watson in the 39 also trying to make some moves. He's trying to get underneath the 15 of Ken Campbell. The 4 of Jaron Sanchez just there as well. Not too many movers and shakers going on just yet. At most, I can see a gain of 3 for Corey Williamson, a loss of 4 for Mark Pentecoff. And it looks like Ken Campbell being able to hold on to that 11th position. Go see how it's going out the front. TJ Crampton right on the tail of Christian Budd. As there's been a change for third, Chris Champeau has moved his way up into third now underneath Jonathan Hernandez. And it looks like Hernandez wanting to try and get that third position back. Hernandez might be trying to save his tyres here a little bit, wanting to play the long game ever so slightly. We'll reach halfway at lap 55, and it could be a little bit of fun seeing these guys trying to make it that far. The 61 of TJ Crampton staying right on the tailgate of the 50 of Christian Budd. These two are pulling away from the rest of the field. They already have half a second over Chris Champeau. Now this is the kind of race that Christian Budd has been wanting. Slightly loose race car and a little bit of fun to try and pedal it to a win. But this setup will eventually start tightening up a little bit unless they keep sliding it ever so slightly every lap. There's a fine line between sliding it just enough and sliding it too much. If you slide it too much, then your rear tyres are going to get absolutely roasted, leaving you defenseless for the end of the race. But here is the 61 of TJ Crampton trying to make a move on Christian Budd. Unable to do so just yet. But he is right there, and at the moment the only person with a chance of challenging Christian Budd. And if we go green the whole way, pit strategy could come into play, just like it did 2 weeks ago. We'll have to wait and see. There's Brian Chambliss, the winner from 2 weeks ago, just popping out of the draft there. He's trying to make a move on Jonathan Hernandez. Hernandez looking very unsettled, a little bit loose there on the outside in 3 and 4. If he doesn't just lose one position, he lost 2 there to John Lozelle as well. John Lozelle looking pretty strong right now, solidly in the top 5 after getting around Hernandez. It looked like further back there was some more battling going on as well. D to 13 of Travis Massier underneath the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Sanchez on the outside. What a run he just got through 3 and 4. Incredible move. The 78 of Brian Pizzakemi trying to do the same thing. Didn't quite have the legs to do it though. And it looks like that outside line just starting to come in a little bit here. Travis Massier stuck down on the very inside. Can't do anything about it as everyone's going around him on the outside. Now you see the 78 of Pizzakemi trying to work on the outside of Jaron Sanchez. Pizzakemi is at the moment in the hard charger position, gaining 4 positions from where he started in 16th. He's up into 12th. We're going to go back to checking in on our battle for the lead here. It's almost a 3-car battle as Chris Champeau starting to catch up ever so slightly to these 2 in front. At the moment, Christian Budd is maintaining the pace of the field, going all the way to the bottom in 3 and 4. So too does TJ Crampton, but Crampton getting there just a little bit later. He's right on the tail of Christian Budd, almost giving him a push going along the tri-oval as they come across the line. I think this is the most pressure that Christian Budd has felt all season. And there's a block. Crampton was looking to the inside, and Budd ever so slightly moved over on him to block. And here comes TJ Crampton now to the inside of turn 1. The battle for the lead is on in earnest. Oh, TJ looking like he got a little bit loose there. Has to file back in behind Christian Budd. I reckon if he's going to make the move, he's going to have to do it in 3 and 4. Well, Christian Budd getting loose that time coming out of turn 4. These guys are laying it all out on the table for us to see here. And I'm surprised no one has gone around with the action that we saw in the pit parties. Everyone's been taking it easy enough that they haven't been going around. And once again, Chris Champeau starting to close in on these two ahead of him. And there's a big gap between Champeau and Chambliss. It's to the tune of about 0.8 of a second. But let's jump on the nose of the 2-car here, Chris Champeau. Watch this battle unfolding ahead of him. As these guys are actually very quickly catching up to Frank Isaacson. It's only 4 seconds up the road from Christian Budd. This is a very, very intense battle ahead. When you're battling for the lead like this early in the race, it's really just a really big chess match. It's all about trying to anticipate your opponent's move and move yourself accordingly. It looks like TJ Crampton starting to fall off of the pace of Christian Budd here. Christian Budd, he just has a way of finding another gear, and it looks like he's found it here. 61 of TJ Crampton looking a little bit more unsettled through 3 and 4 than what he was previously looking. So he might have burnt up his tyres here a little bit trying to make those moves on Christian Budd. You see Christian Budd just moving down ever so slightly on the back stretch there. Just trying to break that draft between himself and Crampton. He doesn't want Crampton to catch up to him. When you know Christian Budd's doing that, he perceives TJ as a bit of a threat right now. He doesn't want TJ to catch back up to him and fight it out for the lead once more. We're going to take this opportunity to open up the radio waves, see what these drivers are talking about, if they are indeed talking at all. As Christian Budd really starting to catch up to Frank Isaacson now. You see there's a battle in the background there for P4. Chambliss and John Lozelle side by side going into turn 3. Lozelle using the inside line. Chambliss trying to hold tough on the outside. He's gotten loose though. Going to give John Lozelle the 4th position. Hernandez looking to take over 5th from Chambliss now. And there is a 38 of Thomas Harmon right behind them. Ryan Pizzakemi up 7 positions from where he started, up into P9 now. The rise of Pisacemi is absolutely amazing. But behind these guys is a huge wad of cars. Go check out the 33 of Matt Horton. Just a nice big grouping of cars here. No one really taking the advantage anywhere. This is the closest grouping on the track of 3. Pisacemi trying to work over Ken Campbell. That is for the 8th position. Let's go back to the 21 of Chambliss now, as he's fallen in behind Hernandez and Harmon. So Chambliss not just losing out on his top 5, but dropping all the way down to 7th. As now Harmon looking to make the move on Hernandez. That's for the top 5. And there he goes, really nice and easily goes Thomas Harmon. Gonna drop Hernandez down to P6. I'm pretty sure if Chris Champeau can stay up there in 3rd like that, and he is going to wrap up 2nd in the championship. As Chambliss and Hernandez were battling it out again, Chambliss taking back over the 6th position. And Hernandez looks like he slowed down a little bit here. In fact, Hernandez, I thought he was under pressure from Brian Pisacemi, but he's not. That is the 15 of Ken Campbell that's under pressure. 2 red and white cars look very similar when you're not paying that much attention. But Pisacemi trying to take away that 8th position from Campbell. Going to do it this time on the inside in turn 3. Austin Hakes back there as well, trying to make up some ground. Hakes down 3 positions from where he started. Looks like Christian Budd now has a 1-second gap over TJ Crampton. Oh, Austin Hakes in the 28 getting loose through turn 2. He was starting to head into the part of the race where you've burnt up your rear tyres too much. You're going to start knowing about it. But we're going to take this advantage to go for a quick commercial break here. When we come back, we'll be continuing the racing action. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Texas Motor Speedway for the Autism Awareness 150 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And during the break, we had one change for position. That was Brian Pizzacchemi getting around Jonathan Hernandez for the 8th position. There is Pizzacchemi now sitting there in 7th. And he's trying to catch up to Brian Chambers here. Pizzacchemi up 9 positions from where he started this race. Absolutely incredible. And he's still charging on from there. We're going to go check out the 23 of John Lazelle, who has Thomas Harmon just half a second behind him. And this is a tight little battle. There's the 15 of Ken Campbell. Got Austin Hakes behind him. There's Jaron Sanchez back there. And Jonathan Hernandez just up ahead. These guys are the closest little group on track at the moment. Hashtag pockets of excitement. Austin Hakes wants to try and get the 9th position away. Ken Campbell trying to look for that P8. And here goes Ken Campbell now on the inside of Hernandez in a tri-oval. Looks like Hernandez is just letting them go. I think Hernandez is thinking about trying some crazy strategy here and hoping that it works. As Hernandez loses another 2 positions there, Campbell and Hakes up into 8th and 9th respectively. But Hernandez still sitting right there on the tail of Hakes, trying to get him unsettled coming out of turn 4. It looked like it almost worked for a second then. See what Hernandez can do here. Hernandez definitely falling from grace, down 8 positions from where he started this race. And similarly, Kyle Kraus in the 60, down 11 from where he started. So he started up in P8 and he's down to 19th. The last car on the lead lap. Looks like Hernandez just doesn't have anything to fight with at the moment. And he might end up losing position here to the 4 car of Jaron Sanchez fairly shortly. And we have a pitter. 1 pit stop for the 2 of Chris Champeau, pitting out of P3 there. Looks like he's going for that 2-stop strategy, thinking that he's not going to be able to make it all the way to halfway. Definitely a very brave call, trying to go for that 2-stop. It's a very audacious 2-stop too. As we're continuing to look at Jonathan Hernandez here, as Chris Champeau officially goes a lap down, everyone else moves up a position. Ken Campbell 7, Austin Hakes 8th, Jonathan Hernandez now 9th, and Jaron Sanchez on the peripherals of the top 10 in 10th. The 60 of Kyle Kraus has now just come down into the pits as well. We're going to set the cameras here to focus on crashes. Hopefully it stays here with this battle, as now Jonathan Hernandez up on the inside of Austin Hakes, trying to take the 8th position away. He's got to do so going into turn 1 here. If Hernandez was saving his stuff up, this might be the time where he's going to start using it. As we do get to go back to this battle to see how it's going to unfold. Sanchez also looking fairly aggressive here on the back of Hakes. Brian Pizzakemi is up a audacious 10 positions from where he started. He's up into P6 now. As we continue looking at the four of Jaron Sanchez, just behind these guys is the two of Chris Champeau, the first car to take a pit stop. And he will be having so much more speed than these guys, to the tune of about 1.5 seconds per lap for a couple of laps here. He's trying to go for the undercut strategy, which worked out very well for the 21 of Brian Chambliss just a couple of weeks ago. Speaking of Chambliss, he's now in the pits. And away goes Champeau. As Ken Campbell in P6 currently. Very wide exit out of turn 2 there. You just heard over the radio there, that was the 38 of Thomas Harmon pitting in, and the 78 of Pizzakemi. 15 of Ken Campbell coming in too.
Pitting mark.
Lots of people coming in for pit stops.
Pitting.
Looks like everyone having to do the two-stop strategy. We'll just have to see how it's all going to work out with early stoppers versus late stoppers. Because the advantage of pitting early is that you do get that little bit of time gained by being on the fresher tyres sooner, but your tyres will start to fall off before everyone else who pits later. And there goes Yadier Hernandez sliding into the pits. Just behind him, Austin Hakes. There's only about 3 cars who have not pitted yet. Our leader has even pitted, Christian Budd. So it's Matt Horton, Travis Massey, and Mark Pentecup at the moment who have not pitted. I think Frank Isaacson's still out there on his original tyres as well. But he is he's lapped down in 10th. Here's Harmon and Chambliss trying to battle out over the 11th position at the moment. Travis Massey just up the road in P2. Horton, Massey and Pentecup must be trying to hope on a caution with everyone being on fresh tyres. Because the fresh tyres can be pretty wild and scary, especially for the first couple of laps before they heat up. Oh, and what an audacious move there from the 21 of Brian Chambliss. There was only just enough room for him to sneak down underneath Travis Massier. As Matt Horton has now come into the pits, Massier is now your leader. The 5 of Mark Pentecup also coming into the pits. So that means that Massier here is going to have to pit sooner or later. There is the 50 of Christian Budd. And he has fallen in behind Chris Champeau, who took good advantage of taking that earlier stop, as the 13 of Massier does come in this time. There's Corey Williamson. He's currently in 19th, 1 lap down. Frank Isaacson also in the pits. So our top 17 are on the lead lap. In fact, it's still all equalising out. My apologies. TJ Crampton up in the 3rd. Or sorry, down to 3rd after being in 2nd for so long. But this could be a very interesting time in this race, with the 2 of Chris Champeau being in the lead. Go check out how he is doing now, because Christian Budd is on a charge. He's half a second faster on that last lap. It's one thing to catch up to Chris Champeau, it's another thing to get around him. Now with Chris Champeau now being in the lead, he can control the pace of these two. I'm not sure how long for, because Christian Budd, with the fresher tyres, just picks his line perfectly to get around Chris Champeau. It's definitely a strategy to think about for later in the race, having the slightly earlier stop. And surprisingly, no cautions as of yet. As we are now going to go back to focusing on crashes. And we're looking at TJ Cranton, who is on his way up to Chris Champeau. About a 1 second gap between those two. As we now look at Travis Massier, who is on the freshest of tyres, trying to catch up to James Watson. Massier, who is down in 14th. And there's only 15 cars on the lead lap as it stands. There's the two of Chris Champeau getting around Kyle Kraus. I think Kraus has a little bit of damage on his truck, which is why he's gone a lap down. Cranton just doing that little bit of a slide to get in front of Kraus to open up his corner a little bit. As he is right on the tail of Chris Champeau now. Chris Champeau is probably going to fall down to third. I'll tell you what, if we had gotten a caution before Christian Budd had gotten to Chris Champeau, it could have made for a very interesting restart there. And it would be the debate of who's going to pit and who's not, since everyone had just recently pitted. And there's the 21 of Chambliss and the 38 of Thomas Harmon. These guys battling over fourth as we now reach the halfway point. It looks like Chambliss just sitting in behind Harmon here, maybe just trying to give him a little bit of a hurry up, work together, use the draft. See if they can close in on the top three. Going to be a very tall order from here. As now 56 laps are complete, 54 laps left to run in this race. We're going to take this advantage to go to another commercial break. When we come back, we'll either be going to the end or we'll be going to a caution. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And welcome back to the Texas Motor Speedway for the Autism Awareness 150, the final round of racing action here for Season 2 2021 in the Output Racing League on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And that was a very interesting sight that we came back to. 78 of Brian Pizzakemi almost sliding into the outside wall there coming out of turn 2. And he is actually up into P6 still. So plus 10 from where he started, and he's starting to close in on Chambliss and Harmon here. As we are currently looking at Harmon, he's just about to catch up to Kyle Kraus, who is a lap down. And Kyle Kraus gets out of the way, but the 21 of Chambliss, very loose going through turn 4. That was crazy how loose Chambliss just got, and he lost a lot of time to Thomas Harmon that time. He lost 3/10 on that lap alone. And in the first half of this lap, he lost another 0.3 again. So that's a half a second loss to Thomas Harmon because of that one little slide. And here comes Brian Pisakemi. He is on an absolute charge right now. As I believe I just heard someone hit the wall, but I don't see anyone moving slowly. There is John Lozelle in the 23. He's down 2 from where he started. He started in P5. Now down to 7th. But he's working his way back up towards the front. Just following Pisakemi here a little bit. As Chambliss is falling off the pace. Chambliss, who pitted a little bit earlier than some of these guys. So this is the most intense battle that we have on track at the moment. Chambliss going very, very wide through turns 1 and 2, allowing both Pisakemi and Lozelle to get up on his inside. He's going very wide again here in 3 and 4. I think he's trying to find an extra line out there, but it's just not quite working out for him. He's definitely getting a bit of a momentum boost, but it's just not quite making him go faster. As both of those cars get up his inside now. I think this would be as good of an opportunity as any. We're going to go do a crank it up. So make sure you guys turn up your volume, because here we go. Alrighty, we are back, and that was a pretty cool crank it up if I do say so myself. And we did see a change of position there. John Lizelle getting around the 78 of Brian Pizzicami. Also, the 38 of Thomas Harmon getting around the 2 of Chris Champeau, who's now fallen to 4th. Those tyres must be feeling very second-hand there for Champeau. Christian Budd leading the way by 3.8 seconds over TJ Crampton. As Lizelle and Pizzicami trying to navigate through the lap traffic here of Corey Williamson to catch up to Chris Champeau. These guys want to get a piece of that as well. They both want to be in the top 5. Especially Brian Pizzicami, because that would put him at plus 11 for the race, and well and truly in that hard charger position. Oh, loose, but John Lizelle. There's the 78 Brian Pizzicami all over the tail of Chris Champeau now. Pizzicami, who is plus 11 after getting back around John Lizelle. He wants to be plus 12 now and get into the 4th position. Looks like he's just got to sneak his way up there, just about coming out of turn 4. Couldn't quite get there, got a little bit loose. John Lizelle trying to fight back on his outside now. This is the most interesting battle we have on track at the moment. Champeau doing everything he can to hold both of these guys in behind him. Here comes John Lizelle now looking to the inside of Pizzicami. And Pizzicami trying to swoop around the outside as the 2 of Chris Champeau decides this is the time to pit. That checked up John Lizelle there ever so slightly. Pizzicami now plus 12 for the race. There's the 5 of Mark Pentacup. He's actually looking pretty strong right now. He's a lap down, but he's got a lot of pace on him. We also have the 15 of Ken Campbell, who's come into the pits. Both of those drivers are now going to go a lap down as they get their pit service, their final pit service for the race. We also have the 60 of Kyle Kraus coming into the pits. Kraus not been having a good run here in the trucks. Hopefully better things for him next season when we go on to a new car. We're still focusing on crashes here as the 21 of Brian Chambliss now comes into the pits. Just 2 laps after the 2 of Chris Champeau. A lot of smoke there on the pit entry, so I think maybe Chambliss had a bit of a wild pit entry there. So we're now looking at our leader, Christian Budd. He's caught up to the back of Frank Isaacson, who is at least 1 lap down, maybe 2. Back to John Lizelle we go. He's trying to catch back up to Pizzicami. Kyle Kraus is out of the pits. I think he's about 3 laps down now. Bit of 64 of Jonas Marquez there, getting a little bit loose as well. Someone else in the pits, but I can't quite make out what number it is. I think it's the 6 of Bell Wells. And we have Lizelle coming into the pits. Someone else came into the pits behind him. I'm not sure who that is. Also got the 28 of Austin Hakes coming into the pits. That was Jonathan Hernandez who came into the pits with Lizelle. Now that we're starting to get into the final 30 laps of this race, I don't think if Chris Champeau gets back out in front of Christian Budd again, he's not going to be as easy to get around this time. So we'll just have to wait and see how that's going to unfold as the 33 of Matt Horton is in the pits. 64 Jonas Marquez is now pitted. We're keeping eyes on our leader, the 50 of Christian Budd. The 13 of Travis Masia, who was in P6. He just got overtaken by Brian Chambliss, who's down into 12th after his pit stop. Chris Champeau in P9 at the minute. Pizzakemi and Harmon in 3rd and 4th. They are still yet to pit. Sanchez has hit the pit lane now. So too is the 24 of Frank Isaacson. The 50 of Christian Budd trying to run a lower line here. I think he's going into the pits. And he is. He's making that hard left turn into the pit lane now. PJ Crampton in the 61 also heading into the pit lane. Corey Williamson in 7th, who hasn't pitted yet, but there's Chris Champeau just in front of him. Champeau has to drive hard now on this lap, as 38 of Thomas Harmon has hit the pit lane. Ryan Pizzakemi still out there. Oh no, he's pitted. He has pitted. He's back out already. Travis Masia in the lead of the race for the moment, as the 50 of Christian Budd's just starting to come out of the pits. Let's see where he's going to be in relation to the 2 of Chris Champeau. There's Chris. There's Christian still on the apron. Actually, no, that's not Chris. That's TJ. So Chris Champeau couldn't do the same trick that he did before. He's 3 seconds behind Christian Budd. He tried so hard to close in that gap with the fresher tyres. It just didn't quite work out for him here. But he could still be on for quite a solid finish. The 13 of Travis Masia still the last car to pit. Corey Williamson in P6, there's Pizzakemi P9. Still quite a few people in the top 10 who are yet to pit. There's Pentacup, Williamson, and Masia. And I think Williamson's just come into the pits this time. He has. And Pentacup, oh, a little bit of contact there with Thomas Harmon. Was chasing it up the track and just got into the door of Thomas Harmon. That ruined Harmon's momentum in 1 and 2 there. As Pizzakemi gets around Chambliss for P6. And see what Pizzakemi can do. He wants to get right up there and get into it. There's Brian Chambliss. He's trying to catch up to the 78 of Pizzacchemi here. Pizzacchemi with the fresher tyres to the tune of about, what's that, 6 laps. So I don't think Chambliss is going to be able to do that. As we're currently looking at Kyle Kraus. There's Travis Massia, who's still yet to pit. I don't think he's going to get the caution that he's looking for here as we're in the final 20 laps of the race. And in all honesty, Massia can still go another 10 laps here. He can go all the way to lap 100. There's Thomas Harmon. He's in P7. He's gotten around Brian Chambliss, who's starting to fall by the wayside here. There's the 6 of Bellwells. She is down in 18th at the moment. In between Lizelle and Kraus. It's weird to see Lizelle a lap down in 17th after he was so strong earlier. There he is on screen. Down 12 positions. He must have had a pit lane penalty at some point. There's Travis Massia. Just behind him is Christian Budd. I think Massia is still hoping on that caution. Look at Budd. Just picking the line he wants and taking it. Sometimes it's scary seeing how good he is in these trucks. Now he's on the tail of the 60 of Kyle Kraus. As we're closing in on the final 15 laps. Going to be 16 to go at the line. There's the 4 and the 5. Darren Sanchez and Mark Pentecoff respectively. Pentecoff still yet to pit. Sanchez now up into P12. And once Pentecoff picks, Sanchez will be the final car on the lead lap. Although Sanchez is catching up to Austin Hakes, who has 3 lap older tyres than Sanchez. There's Chris Champeau and Frank Isaacson. Champeau still holding on to 4th at the moment. But only a half a second behind him is Jonathan Hernandez. Hernandez trying to get around Frank Isaacson here to close in on Chris. See what he can do. And you see Isaacson there being very cordial with these lead lap drivers, giving all the room in the world to Hernandez, although he's fighting back here on the outside of Hernandez. Making Hernandez have to take the tighter line into turn 3. Look at how loose Hernandez is getting there, coming out of 4. He definitely went full cowboy there, sideways as you'd like it. And Hernandez actually looks like he's really struggling here for rear end grip. As Frank getting back up on his inside here, coming into turn 3. Hernandez going much deeper than Frank into turn 3. But you can see that tail end is just sliding all over the place there for Hernandez. As Mark Pentecoff has now finally pitted. Austin Hakes is the final car in the lead lap. James Watson, the first car 1 lap down. So if we were to get caution right now, Watson would get the lucky dog wave around. As we now just have 12 laps to go in this race. The 13 of Travis Massia has now finally pitted. That means this battle for Champeau and Hernandez is now for P3. Hernandez with 4 lap fresher tyres than Champo. And you can't count out Thomas Harmon, who's coming up now. He's got 5 lap fresher tyres than Hernandez. No, he's got 9 lap fresher tyres than Chris Champo just up ahead. There's Brian Pizzicemi as well. He's sitting in P6. There's Travis Massey, who's just come out of the pits now. Paul Massey, he was just hoping for a caution so his long run strategy would work. And unfortunately, came up all jokers for him. 10 to go. In fact, make that 9.5 to go because I can see the 50 Christian Budd is on the back straight. But here's the battle now, the 38 and the 88. Harmon and Hernandez. Chris Champo is in this battle as well. He's just trying to maintain the P3. Thomas Harmon wants to get both of them up the inside of Hernandez. He goes. The 5 of Mark Pentecoff there as well. Pentecoff wants to be careful. He wouldn't want to try and get too involved in this battle. Just behind Pentecoff is Pizzicemi, who is a part of this battle as well. But that's going to be Hernandez now down to 5th. Harmon up into 4th. And Pentecoff with his much fresher tyres, just trying to get through these guys as quickly as he can. He doesn't want to get in their way. Chris Champo now under threat from Harmon. There we go, I clicked the right button finally. Harmon now up into P3. Getting underneath Chris Champo. Those 9 lap fresher tyres just behind him. The 78 of Pizzicemi got underneath Hernandez. That was for 5th. Pizzicemi now plus 11 for the race. We know Pizzicemi is in the running for hard charger, so I'm pretty sure he's going to get it because the next best after him is what's that? Plus 6 for Thomas Harmon. So here goes Pizzicemi now up to the inside of Chris Champo. That's going to be now plus 12 for the race for Brian Pizzicemi. And here comes Travis Massey with these super fresh tyres up the inside of all of them. Chris Champo trying to fight back on Pizzicemi. Not going to work this time, as we've got 6 laps to go when these guys get to the line. These guys are half a lap behind our leader, Christian Budd. TJ Crampton actually doing pretty well there. Only 4 seconds behind Christian Budd. I say only because normally that gap is a lot bigger. Five laps to go for Christian Budd as he's just come across the line. Let's see, can Pizzicemi get himself onto the podium here? That is going to be the ultimate question of this race. But Chris Champo just falling by the wayside behind these guys. He's just trying to hold on to a top 5 and stay in front of Hernandez. Pizzicemi looking pretty strong here behind Thomas Harmon. I think we might see Pizzicemi get onto the podium here. Even though he does have 1 lap older tyres than Harmon, that doesn't matter. The tyres are equal in the eyes of us. As there's only 2.5 laps left to go for Christian Budd, 3 laps to go for these two. In a moment, we'll swap back over to our leader, who's just absolutely pulling away with this race now. Just want to keep an eye on this little battle for the moment. I'm not sure if Pizzacami is going to have the legs to take over that third position, but it's not going to stop him from trying. There's 2 laps to go for these guys. And here is Christian Budd going through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. He's got lap traffic ahead of him, but that's not going to matter. Has a 3.7 second lead over TJ Crampton. He takes the white flag. It's white flag last lap, last chance to win it or wear it. He's already going to be the champion of the season, and he's just going to put the full stop on it here by winning at Texas, as long as nothing happens to him on this last lap. And I think he's going to allow Jaron Sanchez to finish on the lead lap here. Ever so gracious of him. Coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, your winner at Texas and your champion for Season 2 of 2021, the 50 of Christian Budd. P2 goes the way of TJ Crampton, but we want to see this battle for third. And it looks like it's going to be Thomas Harmon coming home in P3 here. Hard fought battle for these guys. Brian Pizzacami just coming home in 4th. But our winner, Christian Budd, as if there was any question about it, he's going to go do some donuts here on the front stretch. And we're going to sit here and watch him. You're a Tier 2 sub on the Twitch channel. You can use your burnout emotes and show him your appreciation. We're going to go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, it is time for our Viagra Hard Charger Award. And today's Hard Charger Award winner is, well, it doesn't really matter because everyone already knows. I've been talking about him the whole race. The 78 of Mr. Brian Pizzacami. Brian, up 12 positions from where you started. Absolutely incredible effort on a track that's really hard to pass.
Yeah, this track was I mean, qualifying was just awful. I mean, I couldn't figure out how to keep a consistent fast lap. I just spun it out of 4, so I tried again or tried to get something and it wasn't working. So like during the races, like I was just gonna be cautious and make sure that right rear was on the car at all costs. And as the run went on, notice people starting to fall off because you're starting to get super loose. It's like, well, I guess I'm doing something right.
Oh, you
I felt
definitely
like I
must have
was
been
pretty
doing
bad.
something right, because we were watching your progress throughout the race, and before that first round of stops, you were up at least 6 positions from where you'd started up into the top 10, and you just seemed to excel from there, continuing that run throughout the entirety of the race.
Yeah, just following some of the other faster guys, Chambliss and Thomas, is just starting. I started to figure out a better line through the corners where I wouldn't slip off, and avoid the wall as much as possible. I noticed a lot of people were also hitting the apron, and that thing was treacherous. One hit on it, and you're saving the car for 2-3 laps easy. At
All
least
right,
I was.
all right, man. Now let's look forward to next season. Next season, for the first time, we're going to announce it here on the channel. We're going to the next gen car. What is the feeling like for you heading into the territory that NASCAR hasn't even gone yet?
It's a lot of uncharted territory. I mean, it's from a few practice sessions we've had. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how these things drive. I mean, 5 gears in a NASCAR, unheard of, kind of crazy. Just having to adapt to an entirely new car is going to be quite entertaining. I hope for the drivers, and I hope for the fans out there watching.
All right, Brian. Well, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Shout out to you, Corey, for amazing broadcasts as always. We really appreciate everything you do, man. Shout out to Jaron and all of Drivers Council for putting on a good season. Everyone for all the drivers for doing as best they can, just to put on as great a show as possible. Uh, I'm just exhausted after that race.
Oh, I can imagine, man. Well, we'll let you go here so you can get yourself some rest. Thank you very much for coming out and putting on a show. Congratulations on getting the Hard Charger Award, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next season.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys. So that was our Viagra Hard Charger Award winner, Brian Pizzacchemi. There's no one harder than him right now. Coming up next, we are going to have our third place getter. And third place here today, very hard fought third place at that, is the 38 of Mr. Thomas Harmon. Thomas, that was a pretty damn good race, if I do say so myself.
I'm glad it went green because I got to be up in like 5 hours.
Well, I'm glad it went green too then. And you yourself, as well as Brian, you started a little bit back from where you finished there and managed to work your way through the field a little bit. How was that for you?
Um, with the truck being a little on edge, it was a little sketchy. I was just trying to be patient and work my way through, and fortunately, it panned out that I was able to get a top three out of it.
It was definitely a bit of a hard to pass track, especially when everything got single filed out when everyone was on even tires. But were you trying to save yourself a little bit earlier and try and have something to work with later in the run, or was it just a little bit of just push constantly?
I tried to save a little early, and I think that kind of held me back a little bit. But I really don't know that I would have had anything for TJ or Christian, regardless. Um, but definitely would have had a bigger gap over Brian.
Now, how was the battle with Brian there? Because we noticed quite a few times throughout the race, you two were stuck together like glue.
Yeah, we kept battling back and forth there. It was pretty fun. Nice to be able to battle back and forth and not end up in a wall or in the grass or anything like that.
All right, now let's look forward to next season, Thomas. We're going to be going to the next gen car. Exciting new territory for us. What's the feeling like for you?
I'm looking forward to it. I think I'll do all right. Maybe I'll be able to keep up with Christian a little bit, but we'll see.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Thomas. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, including your Twitch channel?
Yeah, shout out to my Twitch viewers at twitch.tv/junglecatwizard. Shout out to you up in the booth, Jaron for putting on the league, all the fans that watch each week, all the drivers, and everyone in the truck.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Thomas. Congratulations on P3, and I'm pretty sure it's also P3 in the standings overall with the gap that you had over Hernandez here today. So, congratulations for that. We look forward to seeing what you can do next season in the next gen cars.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, guys, so that was our third place getter here, and I'm pretty sure, if I've done my calculations correct, also third in the standings, Mr. Thomas Harmon. Coming up next, he made a very triumphant return last week to Mosport, got the big win, and today held on to a very solid second place. It looked like he was going to challenge Christian Budd early in the race, but just kind of fell off a little bit, but it was still there or thereabouts. It's, of course, the 61 of Mr. TJ Crampton. TJ, incredible race for you here, man. You got up to the back of Christian Budd very early, and it looked like you had a chance of trying to battle for that win. TJ.
Oh, I'm on push to talk. Uh, yeah, the car was just a bit tight in 1 and 2. I kept my stuff clean for the beginning of the race, and I thought I saved my tires pretty well. And then once I drove to the inside of Christian, I could stay on his rear bumper. That once I went on his inside, I just got tight, and basically I overheated my right front end. He was able to pull away. But overall, a great day for the 61 camp, and hopefully, better things will come. I know Christian's one of the best in this league, so to keep up with him early on was pretty big.
And the fact that you only had a 4 second gap to him at the end of the race there, that just speaks volumes about your skill and, the fact that you could be a force to be reckoned with here as we head towards into next season.
Yeah, towards the end, I saw it go down to 3.8. I think he was getting helped by lap cars. He was so far ahead I couldn't actually see what was going on, but I pushed so hard at the end. But yeah, um, obviously I'm better at road courses as you saw last week, but um, this was probably my worst mile and a half. So to do that, uh, I'm pretty excited to see what comes forward for next season.
Now let's look forward to next season. We're going to the next gen cars. Not sure if you've got much experience with them yet, but what's the feeling like with you heading into the uncharted territory of the next gen cars?
Well, I've done about, I don't know, like 2 carb cups with them, but also I've done 2 league races with them, and I won one of them, which was at Indianapolis Oval. So you know, I have mediocre sometime experience, not much, but a little bit. So I feel like all depends on how much experience everyone else has. But hopefully, I can come into that season with the big swing, and hopefully hit it a few times.
Well, hopefully you can, man. We look forward to seeing it. But before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Uh, Obviously, I got to thank Jaron for hosting the league. It's amazing. Uh, First of all, I also got to thank you for broadcasting. It's always great to rewatch the broadcast. And that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, TJ. Congratulations on P2. We look forward to seeing what you can do next year, next season in the next gen cars.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right, guys. So that was our second place getter here tonight, TJ Crampton, and what was a very excellent race from him today. But coming up next, he didn't just win the race, but he also won the championship, and he actually had it tied up from last week, if not the week before. Of course, we're talking to the most dominant champion that we've had in a long time. Dominated last year, dominated last season, dominated this season. Of course, it's the 50 of Mr. Christian Budd. Christian, very good race from you out there, but it looked like TJ was putting quite a bit of pressure on you early on in the race.
Yeah, I thought TJ drove a good race. Early on with the trucks, you're kind of draft locked up and everything, so you're not really going to pull away or anything anyway. But my goal mainly at the beginning was just to kind of keep him behind me. Hopefully the aero push would kind of take over, and I think it probably did hurt him that first run. I was getting a little free up front, leading, with him behind me, so that let him get a run or two on me. But ultimately, once we started to get it separated out, and um, I was able to start, just focusing on laps, I was felt pretty good. Truck was pretty fun to drive tonight. Wasn't super tight, and you had to drive it on exit, so that was fun.
Now we did see a little bit of a block there on the back straight on one of the earlier laps. Um, so was that a part of the whole trying to keep him behind you? You know, just trying to throw him off that little bit with those tiny little blocks every now and then.
Yeah, I you hate to race like that, but at the same time, with the way these trucks are, they're really aerosensitive. So, being in second can be a pretty big disadvantage, especially if the truck starts to get tight. And I didn't feel like he was getting a run on me because he was doing a ton better through the corner. I felt like it was just kind of the draft that was pulling him up there. So, I didn't want to just let him go. If he had if he had really forced the issue, I would have had to yield. But early in the race, it wasn't too likely. So, uh, you know, like I said, I don't really like doing that, but you kind of have to do that.
All right, man. Now let's look forward towards next season. Next season, we're going to the next gen cars. What is the feeling like for you heading into what for us is fairly uncharted territory?
Yeah, it's completely uncharted for me because I've never driven them at all. So, I kind of understand that they're somewhat different. Hopefully we don't have any too many mile and a halves on the schedule where we're wide open the whole time and stuff like that. That's never very fun. But we'll just have to see. I'm told the road courses and the short tracks are pretty fun. We've got a new tire coming for the road courses in the next build, so that'll change things there as well. Um, and then some other things they're changing. Apparently, the big thing with those is the steering. The steering's really different, has a really different feel to it. So um, that'll probably be something to adjust to. So it could be interesting. Hopefully I adjust okay and can run okay, but we'll have to see.
All right, Christian. Before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, as usual, Smith Sim Racing. Guys working hard again. Haven't had the results we wanted the second round, but we still got a couple guys who are in striking distance of making a pro series. So hopefully we'll keep putting some decent trucks together and get them in there. Also to Output Racing. Been a really fun season. Always fun racing with these guys. We had a caution free event tonight, which is not unusual in Output. So hats off to all the drivers. And then, of course, you can check me out at twitch.tv/Christian Bud and uh, watch the races live. And then after that, you come back and you watch Aussie Sim Commentator and relive it one more time.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Christian. Congratulations on winning another season. I think this makes 3 in a row for you. As I said, one of the most dominant champions that we've had in a very long time. So, congratulations on that. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next season when we head into the next gen cars.
Yes, sir. I do appreciate it.
All right, guys. So, that was our winner and our 3-time in a row champion, the 50 car of Mr. Christian Budd. And coming up next, we're not going to end it just yet. We'll put the ending screen up though. We're going to be talking to our league owner and operator, the 4 car of Jaron Sanchez. Jaron, another awesome season in the books. How have you been feeling as far as the season here has gone?
Fun. I like the 13-week shorter seasons, and no surprise who won the championship there. Christian's a good driver, and it's just fun racing with these guys every week, and overall good season.
It has definitely been a good season, and we're going to be changing things up once more. Next season, we're going to the next Gen Cup cars. How was the decision reached that we made it to next Gen Cup cars, and what do you think you're expecting out of our drivers next season?
Oh, we put it to a vote, let the league vote on what car we're going to run next season, and everyone picked the next one. Not everyone, but majority picked the next gen, and I haven't even bought the car yet. I don't even know if I own it, and so I don't know. I'm probably gonna be pretty terrible, but we'll see. I really don't know what to expect, but probably more winners. I'm guessing is gonna come from that truck car, but I don't know.
All right, Joan. Well, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just all the drivers showing up and making this league so much fun, and you've put on the broadcast, and all the wives and kids out there that support their dads or husbands' hobby of getting on here and playing video games, or a simulator called iRacing, and it's just fun. So thank you guys, and thank you, Corey.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Jaron. Thank you for putting on the league and making me the broadcaster. And we look forward to seeing what the league has in store for us next season when we go next gen racing.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. So that was the four of Jaron Sanchez, our league owner and operator. And we had to put it back up to this screen because I forgot that when we go to this screen, we can't hear what anyone is saying in Discord. But thank you guys for coming out. It has been another amazing season, and we look forward to seeing everyone coming back again next season and what we can do then. And until then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you guys next season in the Next Gen Cup cars.